And we are live. All right, we're going to jump into the markets. I hope you're doing well today on this Monday, April 6th. Time is flying by. I'm going to roll right through the summer. These are usually my favorite times of year. I'm like super excited to be outside and just enjoying my family, my friends, going to barbecues. Like I'm already starting a barbecue right now, hanging out. This is just... It's getting tough for me because this is the time of year where I just love to relax and like really enjoy nature, and to not be able to do that really stinks. But hey, let's get into the markets, see what's going on. Market is about to open. It just did. I think the Dow's going to open up 800 points. Hasn't done it yet. 900. So the Dow up 900 points on open, creating a little bit of a flag as well. And I keep talking about this line in the sand, this 2800, 21, it's actually like 2160 kind of area here. And it's, I guess it's a range because the Dow's so big in my opinion, but from like 21,600, but really like 21.8, like it has to crack 21.8. Once it can crack 21.8 and hold 21.8, to me that's like the line in the sand for the Dow. So they did it. They got it above a moving average as well, as you can see. And now, it should basically come back down to this trend line in this zone if it wants to start to flag, quote unquote flag. If it went up a little more, think about it, it would have to come back and retrace this line. So I still think we're not out of the woods in this range here, because now we're in a new range. If you want to just look at it, just kind of once we fell out. Which is my opinion too. So remember, every time you see a chart, it's someone's opinion or someone's viewpoint. Sometimes we look at charts and think, oh, well, that's what it is. I mean, it most likely is, but even Peter Brand said no pattern is known until the pattern is over. But so now we're coming up into a rising wedge, which has a 68% chance of a break to the downside. So even if I were just to chart this right, do what I think could happen, is we bounce even higher, which would be horrible. But you never know. It's not giving it to me, huh? But we would bounce higher, come back down. There it is. I don't know what. So, something like this. And then this will be the deciding moment, and a measured move. If we were to break down, we just put us down here, back at 16,000. So be careful playing this chop is all I'm saying. I'm still calling for like 16, sub 16, possibly even 10. The way they're pumping money into the market. Unless they know something I don't, which is possible, or they know some way of manipulating these numbers. But they'll keep the numbers where they at, but they won't mean anything eventually. It's that the dollar is losing value when they're quadrupling the money supply. Soon they're gonna give what, quadrillion, a trillion, a quadrillion dollars. There's gonna be a quadrillion there before you die. The way they're doing it. If you do the math, it's exponential now. And that's not even a joke. It's serious. We're going to have to talking about quadrillionaires. Because it'll be so much money, that's how much things will cost. You get it? Like, it'll have to be digital money because no one's going to walk around with quadrillions of dollars. So it's going to get out of control. If that's where they're going too, if you just want to follow the line of how they're printing money, then that's exactly what's going to happen. So interesting. Good look at Bitcoin. Now, when I saw the Dow futures were up last night, I bought Bitcoin at about 6,800. I didn't buy too much of it, like about a third of it, so I made like $100. But at least it was just took a gamble on an instinctual move. I was like, oh, it's been following the Dow pumps, so almost to a T, which I don't like. It's kind of weird that I played that instinctively. It was like fighting the knowledge. I didn't like to see that. I don't want it coupling with the Dow. But you can see the Dow up 3.4, Bitcoin up 5%. So there's something going on. S&P, they say. So the S&P short fell too, of course, once they pumped the Dow. But that would be a good day to buy the S&P short. Still in its MACD low loading zone. You know, kind of like, could be more pain though. But I would say it's still a good asset. I mean, it could crash even more. But let me see. I mean, it's bouncing off the 786 support, came up, bounced here and again. Right now it fell through the 200-day moving average though, which isn't good. Now it's down here below the 100. The 21 is still up here though, which is interesting. Looks like this is trying to cross too as well. See the 50-day moving average, it seems like it's coming, or the 100 is coming for the 200. It's interesting. And we still have a hidden bullish divergence that played out a little bit. It did play out. See? Got that jump from 23 up to 28. Not bad at all. I mean, I think anything over like 5 to 7% is unbelievable. So, making trades. I mean, I'm not, and I also think 300, 400% is unbelievable because I know this is crypto. But I'm just saying, you know. What's going on, guys? What up, Muser? What up, Tyler? He's the man. Best dude. Smart dude. Does his things. Runs his cars on cooking oil. XRP Sensei. Yo, thank you so much, man. Much respect. Much respect. I seen your comment the first thing I woke up. I was like, wow. Appreciate that. What up, Don Juan? What's going on, man? We are live. Yo, so JNUG 471. Now, JNUG is struggling too. It just seems like it will just only do what the market does, which is upsetting me. But I truly believe at one point gold's going to break out. And I see, now that I see, look at JNUG too, I see a little bit, see this, it's a slight double bottom. The price action, you see the bottom, up, bottom. That's a good sign. I mean, and it's done. Like, to me, that was the bottom there at 337. But we'll see. I mean, if this market crashes all the way to zero, I guess any asset can go anywhere. So, I don't know. But it just needs to work its way back up into this channel. Get above this moving average, you know, and start getting some traction. But they're coming. Looks like it's eventually going to loop up with it. MACD cross doesn't have too much of a pump left, so that means if we get to 530, we will have a pullback back to this area again before another run up. But we're eventually going to get across this dotted line. Still an accumulation period, in my opinion, because we're very oversold. So that's the indication. I mean, you can see it's just down in here. And as I said before, you've only been able to do this on this asset once, twice, 3 times since 2015. So that's all I'm saying. It's up to you if you think that's good knowledge or not. But what up, man? Yeah, so silver fighting as well, 444. But you have to pay like $20 for silver now. Still kind of flagging now, as you can see here. There's my old idea. Never happened. It was like in the channel. It still has some potential. Getting back up to the 17. Yep, the 17 area will be heavy resistance though, for sure. Even right here, looks like it will be a little bit to previous support. Well through. So those two areas have to watch. But other than that, I think silver's on its way. Gonna do its thing. Only a matter of time. Bitcoin flopping and flipping. Yep. Will it hold this again? It did this the other day. The stocks either go to 10,000, like you said, with the rate that it's going. We're looking at a crash. It's true, man. Sad to say. To the facts. Fluent. My friend got this GGG at 40, man. He just said, this is a goodbye. Graco, producer of manufacturing industry machinery. I think it's something to do with making the ventilators, possibly, too. I don't know. I think they make a part, or they have something to do with something. So, the Dow Jones Industrial up 800 points today. As I said before, just looks like it's gonna go into a rising wedge, some type. Or you could say it's in a little flag that could pop out too. We'll see what happens. But that flag would indicate the same rising wedge, because we think it should go up now all the way to 2380, damn near 2400. So we should see that pushed by end of day or tomorrow. So we need another 400 points, and then we should see come down, and then it'll get tightened to this wedge, and then we will see, and we'll see what happens. If it breaks out of a falling wedge, that's parabolic, and that means they're going to pump this thing all the way back, and even that's not a good idea. Whatever they do is bad, because they do that, the dollar goes down. If it crashes, the dollar goes down. You see, it doesn't really matter, honestly, but I don't think it will make sense. Who's buying a stock anymore now? Nobody. People are just crazy. It's real crazy. All right, we have silver. So the SPXU short, still an accumulation zone, in my opinion, too. Flat on the RSI, coming out of a MACD cross eventually. We'll get a little pump, even if it's at least 10 or 20%. End of the week, we'll have a couple bad days. Something will happen, So that's what's going on. See what's up with the cryptos. DREP, USDT, Zcash up 10%. Atom up 9% at 226. So remember, I was talking about Atom. Kept talking about Atom. I said it was in this triangle, right? Needed to break above that zone. It had retraced a whole amount on the Fibonacci, basically. Completely bottomed. Up to 226, up 10%. So all the cryptos just following suit with the market, as you can see a little bit. BAT up 7%. IOTA up 7%. Uber even up 7%. Throw that in there, just some fake out band up 7%. WRX. This token's hot. This token is hot. Look, it broke out of this strange pattern I had going. So all these little bull flags that were bear flags, actually, they broke out. Now it's in a little bit of a bull flag. This is a bull flag on the 4 hour. This is worth taking a look at. Be better if it was at the bottom of its trend line, but it's at the top. But yeah, this is something you might want to take a look at. Coming out of a MACD cross still right here. A bearish MACD cross, but with the curve coming. I mean, it's a lagging indicator, so it will happen and then this will cross. So you have to anticipate this. But we have the RSI still kind of in a really good place. In a really healthy spot above 50. Anything above 50 is bullish. And it's complete itself back up into the overbought region. So it's got a lot of room to pump. If anything, it might come back down to the trend line. So you either buy here. Again, this isn't financial advice, entertainment purposes only. But either buy here. at 12,596, and I don't think you can go wrong, honestly, at either way if you just held it too, because it's an exchange coin in India, and there's billions of people, man. They're gonna trade and trade, trade. This coin will go up in value. So you're basically buying the BNB coin of India when you buy the WRX coin. So come back down to the trend line, and this could be the buy zone here with a stop loss. You know, see below this second wick, something like right here. Or, you know, take a shot right now, but I would wait and be patient. But I'm telling you, man, you'll probably see this thing at like 20 cents before you know it. Because look, if it does break out of this, which it just broke out hard, real hard. And think about this. This is on the 31st of March. It was at 9 cents. And you already got like damn near 50%. So this is the length of the pole. So if it breaks out hard, it's got like, it's got that target here. See, and it kind of hits that same line right here where they had kind of would adjust it to like right here. See, and then here you see we have might have some resistance because of this bounce here. Other traders are looking at those, so it's got to break through here, and that would be some gains of 32% WRX coin. And if you were able to get back into the bottom line, 44%. Still coming if it does its thing. I mean, it's in a bullish pattern there. So just something to identify on the 4 hour. Coming out of a MACD cross. That crosses, this should boom up. Looks like it will come out of this. The stock's either going to who's crying? People are crying. ICX coin. I like this coin, man. 24 cents. Nice pickup. I don't know. This is a long-term hold, in my opinion. But V-Chain, I think, will always pump. Kind of too many people know about it, and it's going to move at 0.003 cents. And its high point was almost basically a cent. I think it hit a cent at one point. Right there, yeah. Hit 1 cent. That was its beauty. It's a beautiful day. I remember that day. Crypto had a little bit of a run up. It was a tiny bottom run up, but it was a run up if anyone who was watching crypto. We've had some tiny little rallies this year. Let's look at the total too. So it broke out of the rising wedge and then came all the way back down. Now forming maybe something like this. I mean, hopefully the beginning of this, like, could this fractal be that fractal? And more up, some down. Look how it gets. Those are like those times it gets slammed, right? Bitcoin or whatever. Wow. Oh, coin market gets hit up. Look, it broke out. Fine. Look, it hit my white line. See what happens? You just draw these lines. You know, I drew them when it was down here. Drew my line, and look, it just hit this line that I had drawn from here. You know, a little trouble. Hit this line that we had drawn from here. Hit this line. Had drawn from here. Insane, right? Drew this bottom line. It hits this line. Just, to me, it's insane. It almost seems to work every time. Look at hitting the line here, coming up. So we should come up here, in all honesty. Or this line here too. Possible right here. But that is a pattern. That's a rising wedge. Eventually it's a break to the downside, 78% chance, or if it breaks out, it's parabolic. So we better hope we get some movement, but we'll see what happens. I'm not that confident in the alts right now, I'll be honest. They're not telling me they're strong. Wow, but XRP at 18.9, getting out of the buy zone, leaving my buy zone. So I kind of drew two. I drew like one wedge here and a huge wedge that is really in. I think I have to see it on the daily because it's so big. Yeah, and I think it would come out of this. We have 269% gains for XRP, up to 65 cents at the very least. If it does what it's supposed to do and break out of this falling wedge, which is a 68% chance. So that's XRP on the wide view, and then XRP in the 4 hour more like you're trying to play it or you want to buy some more. Or you're looking for a good place. It's getting overbought on the 4 hour, as you can see. It's entering that place. So like you wouldn't want to make a trade here unless you were scalping with a lot of money for like a very little bit of percentaging, which is not something I do. So not saying I've never done it, but it's not something I'm going to do or push on anyone. So here it goes up here into the RSI, and to me, that's just time. Look where it was here. It kind of started coming down. That was the high point. So to me, it's had a nice little pump. Last few days, it's done pretty nice for itself, right? Even in a week. Let's see, we're here at April 6th. We go back to like the 31st of March, the 30th. We're sitting at 16 cents. So it's gone up damn near 20% or more. Nice little 16% pump. And even if we go from the highest to the lowest of these wicks, 17% pump. And then if we go back to just March 23rd, we got a nice 31% gain. So 2 weeks up 30% XRP, kind of moving back into the 20s, getting out of the green buy zone, my accumulation zone here, where I was saying this is the chance to grab you some XRP. We'll see though. We'll see what happens with this market. Anything can happen with the world and what's going on. Link, a lot of people liking Link. Come back up into the zone, come and do its thing. I still have it in this giant triangle, so if we look back and we erase all this nonsense and we say it's still in the triangle, it can still come back out of this triangle and do its thing, which would put Link back at 546, at 241. So easy over 100% gains coming for Link. 127%. I like Link a lot. I think it's a good coin everyone should have in their pocket, in my opinion. What I mean that is in a hard wallet or stored. Should have you some Link. It's just gonna make. I think it's gonna make money. It's known. It's like the 7-Eleven at this point. Not really. And I don't mean to put it down. I mean it's just the known coin. It's the known coin. I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying. Like everybody knows it, and it has the technology. That's why people know it. And it's going to basically make the protocols for many blockchains to be able to be interoperable with any other thing in the world. So and it makes partnerships with many, many different coins and many people. So the more you read about Link, the more you find out why you should have some. But that's just me. You should just read about Link. That's all I'm saying. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. It has nothing to do with me. So that's all I'm saying. MakerDAO 315. Engine Coin, FET, Neo, Dash, XDZ, Bitcoin, Coco, up 3%. So whole market looking greener than green. Amazing, huh? Out of nowhere, just pop. Funny, last night I saw that the futures were up big, so I said, oh, you know what, I'll just grab some Bitcoin because... But you know what? I don't even think it might hold too. It hit this region before and it just didn't hold. So let's just take a deep dive into Bitcoin for a second, because everything seems to be following it. It's in a rising wedge. These are not my favorite patterns because number one, I don't play them a lot. But the trend is your friend until it's not, I guess. right? It's starting a new trend. Has to hold this lower low here at 6,700. Some people say 6,850. Has to hold this lower low. If it doesn't hold this lower low, then it's coming back down here to this low point again, 5,900. So, in my opinion, it's got to hold it. It didn't make a shoulder, though. We had a shoulder ahead. It could have made a shoulder right here. So, that's the only good thing. It kind of broke out of that. Almost made a head and shoulder pattern. At this point, I feel like it has to hold 7,100 because it did it earlier, but that was a wick. Now it's a powerful bar. We'll see what happens. Like, the market's going to tank tomorrow, and then is Bitcoin just going to go tanking right back with it? Because if it's all it's doing is just going up with the market, it's just interesting to me. Eventually, it has to decouple. So JNUG up 14% at 495. Litecoin, just throw it in the mix, but Bitcoin 71. The Dow back up 1,000 points today. See, now it's kind of breaking out. It's supposed to come up, right? Like I was saying, it should come back up here to this 23. It should come up to this 23,900 area. You know, that basically is where it should be. 23,800. 23,800, and then come back down 22,400. Play some games, and then it either breaks out or it goes parabolic, because it's kind of the two choices I've seen when I've seen this pattern. So that's all. Bitcoin in a similar pattern, really, in a rising wedge, just kind of on its way up, seeing what it's doing. So a lot of uncertainty, in my opinion. Still not really buying the Dow. Gold at 1645, making a big comeback today. Look at that. So it basically hit my, look, I said if it breaks out of this, I drew this as a target back to 1650. Looked like it wicked almost exactly to the line that I drew. This is crazy. You see that it did. It really did. Like, it's right, boom. Price hit exactly the white line I drew. It's just uncanny. This is just, what all I'm doing is just playing patterns that I've memorized over and over again, drawing the target, putting myself where the target's at, looking at previous price resistance, and using that as a place where I should take some profit, because I think that's where someone else would take profit. It's like, I don't know, it seems simple, right? But I don't know, it seems how it just kind of works. So gold, though, up 14.54. But yeah, I did play JNUG. Still in JNUG for a long haul, so we'll see what happens. Took nibbles in at $3.80, a couple nibbles at $4.20. So that's my position down there, and I even have a bigger position, more at like $6 and $7 too. It's still down, so we'll see what happens with that. In all honesty, I'm still bullish that it will move up, but if not, eventually I may cut my losses on that and just move it back into actual physical gold, or we'll see. I actually thought JNUG would perform better. I didn't think it would crash when the market crashed like that day. It sucked the money out of every living asset known to man. It was insane. So it's like a vacuum cleaner, you know. GGG, Graco Inc. on my radar here. Someone I know was telling me about it, saying, oh, he liked it. Interesting company. Up, got in at 40, so he's up over 10% now, which is pretty nice. Almost damn near 20% at this point. So, yeah, right around here at the bottom. Took that V-shaped recovery scalp. 21.9%. Netflix did the exact same thing. A lot of V-shaped recoveries here. You can see classic V-shaped recoveries on every asset. Walmart more had a huge pump and down. V-shaped recovery here, technically, yeah. But it was already kind of pumping and dumping. All right. And we have BEX. This is something I've been looking at. 9 cents. Basically buying a bunch of gold mines, doing a deal with the. It's got this huge double bottom. Even if that just plays out, I was looking at that. It could go up to 22.5%. If that's the only thing you're trying to play, or even play it safe and take profits like here, here, right here, and here. 33% and 62%. Call it a day. 50% there, 50% there. Call it a day. But I'm looking at it, just something I'm looking at. Just put on my radar here. Benton Resources. Non-energy minerals, precious metals. Just something I'm looking at. So Amazon holding pretty hard. I mean, everyone is buying Amazon. Let's see what's going on. It's also in this dangerous pattern, but it's doing all right. I mean, who is not using Amazon? So it could be almost in a pennant, almost. It's not bad. Bouncing off this trend line twice. And at the top there 3 times. It's right here, so bounce up, bounce back down, right? These will be completely normal. But everyone would say that was a crash again. You get what I'm saying? Bounce up. At its lowest point though, 1600. And where it was at December of 18. So in the lowest time it was here, like it was at 1694 just in September. So then it pumped all the way to 2170, crashed all the way to 16. Now it's all the way back to 90. I mean, to me that's just very volatile too. Show you how a stock like Amazon being that, I mean, look at the huge run-ups it has. But it's always been a little volatile. That's just what happens if you have that much in the money supply. Even this double top should have came down here and it didn't though. So that was a bullish sign. It's a very bullish sign. The double top didn't complete and yet a rounded bottom. Interesting, just something to see. Something to look at. Yeah. Investors say there's market bottom, very tough times ahead. Here's what one chart watcher is keeping an eye on. Investors say there's no one chart that will signal when stock market bottom is in, but technical analysis. Chris Kimball argued Friday that an important tell could be offered by a commodity index that is testing a support level has helped the past 40 years. In a Friday blog post, the founder of Kimball Charting Solutions pointed to the chart above for the Thomson Reuters equally weighted commodities index, which he said will go miles and miles towards telling us if we are headed towards the very tough times, or if the huge decline of late are actually in a bottoming process. The chart tracks the index on a monthly basis back to 1954. The index tracks a basis of 17 commodities, including cocoa, coffee, copper, corn, soybeans, cotton, crude, gold, heating oil, lean hogs, live cattle, natural gas, platinum, silver, soybeans, sugar, and wheat. The index has been headed south over the last 9 years, reflecting general weakness in commodities. Kimball noted in 2009 a then 29-year-old support level held, indicating the worst of financial crisis was priced in. It's testing that level again now. If the index holds at 2009 support, it will suggest that lows are in play and the worst has already been priced into the markets, he said. If the index breaks this 40-year support resistance line, it would suggest that some really tough times are ahead. Now, what index is that? I want to trade the soaring U.S. track. Friday blog post. Thomson Reuters equally weighted commodities index. Thomson Reuters equally weighted commodities index. It's 40-year support level resistance line. Let's see if you can chart that. The commodities, the Thompson, where it is. Year support line. Looks like it's never been down here. Why does Zoom video stocks fall after credit? Everyone I know is using Zoom, and it's fallen. So strange, right? Inovio Pharmaceuticals plans testing of patients in trial DNA vaccine. Michael Kors' parent will furlough all 7,000 North American retail workers as stores remain shuttered until June 1st. Michael Kors closed. Dow up more than 800 points on hopes coronavirus outbreak near peak. Dow is soaring on optimism about coronavirus. Travel stocks are rising. That's crazy. Early signs the pandemic is slowing. I don't believe any of that nonsense. Wall Street star money manager says S&P could plunge to 1,500 in worst case, while coronavirus fallout fingering for years. To everyone, unless they say it's all great, but Scott Maynard is looking for opportunities to dip his toes into the coronavirus-stricken stock market. However, you may not find him wading in the equities anytime soon if the outlook for the economy is as grim as he is forecasting. The global chief investment officer at Guggenheim Partners, in a Sunday research report, estimated that the worst may be far from over for the S&P 500 and the broader market, which is attempting to face a harsh reality framed by a global economic shutdown created by the outbreak of COVID-19. As of Friday's close, the S&P 500 was at 24,888, down 26.5% from its February 18 record closing high. However, Maynard estimated that the index could justifiably fall to 1,500 over time if the realization of woeful corporate earnings and the economic devastation of the pathogen sets in. A drop of that magnitude would represent worst-case scenario based on Guggenheim's models. Maynard explained this way, but one thing would caution that if earnings could fall as expected, then to S&P earnings could get as low as $100 this year. Given the traditional market multiple of 15 times earnings, that would put the S&P at about 1,500, still 1,000 points lower than we are today. Certainly, we are down from the recent peak of 3,386, so we've made a big move, but we still have a pretty good move to make. Investors should probably focus their activity on bonds at this point. With that in mind, the CIO said battered airline names and hospitality shares could eminently risky bets now. Some of those businesses will never return to their pre-outbreak levels if they return at all. Airline companies including Delta, United Airlines Holdings, and American Airline Groups have been bludgeoned and are down at least 60% year to date, as travel has been severely hit by the efforts to contain the pandemic. Maynard said his outlook has darkened considerably further on the economy because the data has been worse than he has estimated.
Daddy?
Yes.
The difference between these two Lego characters is they have the same hair and their hair is the same.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. It's like they're the same characters.
Very interesting.
And also, Daddy, I was wondering if I could bring the Lego house outside.
No, never. Don't bring it outside.
No, just on the stair.
Okay, but don't break it.
Okay.
It's not done yet either. Be careful.
Okay.
Maynard said his outlook has darkened considerably further on the economy because the data has been worse than he had estimated. Indeed, the Labor Department report on Friday showed a stunning 1,000 workers lost their jobs last month, representing the world's worst monthly labor market reading in 11 years and far exceeding estimates from around 83,000. All three stock indexes on Friday finished lower, including the S&P 500, the Dow, and the Nasdaq. The data came after a separate report showed a record 6.6 million Americans applying for unemployment benefits, bringing the increase in new jobless claims in the past 2 weeks of March up 10 million. More broadly, the Guggenheim investor said he's anticipating the gross domestic product for the U.S. will contract well over 10%. Probably the most surprising thing to me at this point is how well the markets are holding up. Given the economic data and given the fact that the large portions of capital markets are still virtually closed for business, I would have expected stock prices to be lower at this point. By some measure, it may take the economy 4 years to return to normalcy. If there's a silver lining, that will leave interest rates at rock bottom levels for much of the coming decade. Against the backdrop, Maynard said he's looking for an investment-grade corporate and municipal bonds, as well as select securities and structured credit and high yield, where high prices have dropped. He's advised investors to focus on high-quality investments and fixed income. As this situation continues to play out, we'll slowly increase our risk tolerance and watch for more buying opportunities, he wrote. It's time to start nibbling, not gorging on these values, he said. Wow, so now we got the Dow up 800 points. Gold sitting at 1650, hitting that spot. If it breaks above that, it's all the way back to 1700, and we're on another run here with gold, which I think is going to do amazing. It came out of its double top. It completed a V-shaped recovery, and now it's off to the races. So just looking at gold, looking good today. And silver. And there we go. JNUG cracks 5. We're going back up to $6 too, so we want to see this crack about $5. And Bitcoin, we want to really hold 7,100. Please. If it comes back down to the trend line, it's going to hit, at least should have hit 75 and then come back to like 71, 72. So the Dow's still up 1,037 points. So there you go. All right, guys, I gotta jump. Things are just getting hectic lately. The coronavirus. People in my relative family are sick in the hospital, and it's been a lot of craziness going on over here. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be on tonight, going over what's happening in the world today. Basically, the virus, technology, trying to just get a figure out on what's really happening between the human race and the governments and what we're in for, and the good things, the bad things, and hopefully how we can all figure out how to live positive and amazing lives no matter what. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video.